Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel for another video about investing. Don't we all dream about someday being able to just sit on the beach with a drink in our hand and not having to worry about going to work just to meet our mean boss or annoying co-workers? What if I told you you could be able to do this way before you turn 65 or 70? I love the thought of that, and I'm still a student and haven't even started a regular 9-to-5 job yet, which might be a little too early to be thinking about my retirement. Oh well, let's get into the topic. In today's video, I'll be going through what FIRE is. And no, it's not something that you just sit around and make s'mores. Then we'll be talking about why you should aim for an early retirement. And lastly, we'll take a look on how you're able to retire early. If you're just sitting there and thinking, well, what if I want to keep working for as long as I'm able to, then this video is still relevant for you. It is just a way of creating more freedom into your life and not being dependable of anyone but yourself. Okay, let's get into my first point. What exactly is FIRE? FIRE is short for Financial Independence Retire Early. And it's a way of living where you are aware of how you spend your money and make sure to save up as much as you're able to, so you will be able to retire early. This doesn't mean that you have to eat rice and vegetables every day, even though this is how some people choose to achieve FIRE. FIRE is something that you design to fit your lifestyle, and you don't have to make big changes to your life. It is, however, a way of thinking that might make you consider if you actually should change your way of spending money. You might have seen a lot of people who have been able to retire in their 20s or 30s, and even if this is a possibility, you will have to go pretty extreme in order to achieve this, or just to earn a huge amount of money, which shouldn't be necessary in order to achieve FIRE, since it should be something that the average 9-to-5 worker are able to do. There's a lot of different paths of FIRE, and as I mentioned, you have to find the way that fits you. Some examples of FIRE could be Coast Fire, Barista Fire, or Lean Fire. So what is the difference? They're all aiming for an early retirement, but they have different paths to get there. The Coast Fire is when you have built up a portfolio that in the long run should be able to cover all of your expenses, but before your portfolio have grown into being able to cover all of it, you will be working just to cover your expenses and nothing more. This means that if you spend $20,000 per year, this is what you should aim to earn, since you don't have to save up anything because your portfolio should do that for you. Only having to earn $20,000 per year should give you the opportunity to take some part-time jobs that you really enjoy. You don't have to stress about working a full-time job from 9 to 5, but find something you really enjoy and where you're able to earn some money while doing it. Then next up, we have Barista Fire. It is kind of the same thing. Here you also work a part-time job that you enjoy, but instead of it having to cover all of your expenses, you'll withdraw a small percentage of your portfolio every year, so you're able to pay all of your bills, only working part-time. So here, you don't retire completely, but you live partly of what you have saved up, and then work part-time to cover all of your expenses. Then there's Lean Fire, which is where some people go extreme just to achieve this at an early age. Here you have saved up enough money to retire and just living from your portfolio. Some people would choose to live on a rock just to be able to achieve this early. But it doesn't have to be like that. It all depends on your saving rates, which I'll talk about later. There are way more ways of achieving FIRE, and it's all about you having to find one that fits you. In common for all of them is that you have to save a certain percentage of your salary and invest that money. Alright, now to my next point. which is why to aim for FIRE. For some people, FIRE might sound amazing and others think it's pretty dumb. All these retirees doesn't contribute to the society and are only thinking about themselves. And yes, when you achieve FIRE, you don't contribute to the society at all, pretty much. If you choose to retire, of course. This means that if everyone lived after the FIRE movement, there pretty much wouldn't be any society. FIRE doesn't mean though that you have to quit your day job before the age of 50. A lot of people are just living after the first two letters, which is FI, financial independence, and might love their job and therefore keeps working until their regular pension starts. Which is also great. You should never stop doing something that you love. If this is the case and you still save up towards FIRE, this could also mean that you now just have a lot of money saved up to do whatever you want when you choose to retire. FIRE does, however, give you the opportunity to quit your job. If someday you find something that you would rather spend your time on, or if the company should hire a new boss that you can't stand, then you have the opportunity to quit without having to be worried about money. Which, in my opinion, is the ultimate freedom. You don't have to quit your job, but you have the opportunity. And you can choose to work less if other priorities should come first. Just setting up a portfolio that will make you able to retire just some years earlier could make you stay away from a lot of concerns. If you should lose your job, or even worse, should get sick, then you have the financial buffer to cover it. It is all a way of getting some freedom into your life. So if you think all of this sounds pretty great, we should get to my next point, which is how to achieve FIRE. There's various of ways to achieve FIRE, but in common for all of them is that you have to invest your money. It can be done through real estate, investing in creating your own business, or probably the most common one, in stocks. Stocks require the least amount of work, but still is a great option where you will be able to get a good interest rate. To achieve FIRE, there's a rule that says that you should have saved up 25 times your annually expenses. 25 times your annually expenses should be enough for you to retire. So this means that if you spend $20,000 per year, you should save up $500,000 in order to retire. And if you spend $50,000 per year, then you should of course save up $1,250,000 in order to retire. Well, this is only easy if you earn a ton of money. And no, this is the great thing about FIRE. It is available for everyone, and it's just a question about how and where you spend your money. Of course, some families will struggle to achieve this, but by changing some small things in your life, you could probably save some money that could go towards FIRE. It all comes down to your savings rate. And as you can see here, the more you're able to save, the less time you have to spend on your 9-to-5 job. This means that if you can save 50% of your salary, you will only have to work 17 more years before you can retire. And even if that sounds like a high number, also 30% will do, so you only have to work 28 years. If you think that sounds like a lot, just think about that some people with an average salary have been able to save 60% or more of their salaries. It's all about making wise financial decisions. And yes, of course, if you earn $100,000 per year and only spend $20,000, it's obviously easier to achieve it than if you earn $50,000 per year and still spend $20,000. This is also why you should think about how you spend your money, because every dollar you put towards FIRE can make a difference in the long run. For every $100 that you put into stocks in your 20s, it should be worth around $1,700 in your 50s, which then is $1,600 you wouldn't have to earn now. So you just have to get started on your journey towards FIRE now. So now, if you want to be able to do whatever you want to already in your 50s, or maybe even earlier, FIRE is the right option for you. And no matter if your savings rate is 20% or 70%, it still makes a difference and will give you some financial freedom. This was a video explaining the FIRE movement. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos about investing and personal finance.